everybody. Welcome to the Great Reset podcast. My name is Patrice Johnson, and this is where insurance meets accountability. I'm here today with Andy, who is a recruiter, and he's going to dive into all the things recruiting so we can have really good insight on what that looks like and what it takes to make sure that we are hiring qualified people into this industry. With no further ado, please, Andy, introduce yourself.
Hey, all. My name is Andy. I've been in the industry for about 5.5 years, but I have been an agent for about 1.5 years. So
Mm.
I've been working in the Dearborn Life Insurance Company for 5.5 years. I'm in their IT department. I'm still doing that as a full time. But if everything goes well with my business here, then I can quit that and do this full time. So that's my background.
Well, fantastic. It sounds like so far so good. So you shared that you're both an agent and a recruiter. What led you to focus on recruitment alongside your agent work?
As I said, I was working in a different insurance company, right? So I have a conflict of interest, so I can't actively sell. If I
Mhm.
do, then, there might be an audit or something like that. So I thought recruiting is a better option for me
Mm.
because money is not a big issue for me right now. But I want to retire in about 5 to 6 years, so I thought recruiting is the vehicle to achieve that. So that's why I'm into recruiting. And many people don't realize that. But my heart is to, make people realize that and build them up as leaders.
Yeah.
And yeah, and recruit them into industry and make them recruiters too. Like my goal is not to make people a better sales agent, but I want to make them as better financial entrepreneurs like I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So can you tell us what is your recruitment process like when you first started?
Yeah, so I first started with a company called HGI, that which is a builder's model. So I didn't know about the insurance industry, like this part of insurance industry, right? So I have been introduced into the builder's model. So recruiting was the primary thing. But yeah, initially the process was like to reach out to friends and family. I did that and I burnt a lot of that. So I don't want to do that again. But I definitely want to do that. But I want to achieve a certain level for myself. Like people have to see my success if it is friends or
Yeah.
family. And then I can go to them and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. So do you want to be my partner? I'm expanding my business in the area. So things like that. Yeah.
So that's interesting. I kind of want to poke at that bear a little bit because that's the one thing I feel that's being pressured on new agents when they first come into this business. They're like recruit, recruit, recruit. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter what you're doing. Use my story to edify you. You like
Yeah.
I feel strongly what you said. I want to do it first before
Mhm.
I bring somebody else into this, and unless they choose to come along the ride with me. So can you kind of explain that to me? Because I don't want people to be afraid to say no. They're not
Right.
ready for that. So can you tell me when did you decide to put your foot down and go, I'm not doing that anymore. Obviously you burnt bridges with family and stuff like that, but can you tell me a little bit about that forcible recruiting process where it's like, hey, you're kind of pushed to go towards friends and family and people you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of did that for 6 months, but yeah, as I said, it didn't help me out. And then I got a really bad name within my friends.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and they were like kind of saying, if Andy comes to a movie, then we are not going to the movie because he's talking
Wow.
about business and stuff. So I decided that I'll not go that route. And then I paused recruiting, and then I was inactive for a couple of months. Then I found a different IMO, and then and I saw the opportunity there, and then they were like recruiting like crazy. So I jumped in and learned their process, and then got leads from Indeed.com, and then recruited like crazy. Like in 45 days, I recruited 83 people.
Wow.
So yeah, at that time I didn't know how to actually, choose the right candidate and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but now I know much better. So we can
So
we can
that
focus.
new company you went to, what was it that attracted you? You mentioned the recruiting. So was their process different from the place you came before and you're like, let me go over here?
Yes, their process was definitely different. They are not a builder's model. They're not
Mhm.
into recruiting too. But because I came from a builder's model and I came to this model, then I wanted to apply whatever I learned in that 6 months and apply here because I saw a potential here. So, and I told them right away. So I told them that my thing is to recruit. So start me at a higher compensation level, and I'll bring you a lot of people because I've learned that in my previous, and they did. So. I
And I
brought
mean,
in.
you have the numbers to show that, which a lot of people come in very, very entitled because of how the industry's been set up, offering, high comp or saying free this or free that. So it breeds that entitlement when they go somewhere else and they're bringing nothing to the table. It's like, do it here. I think it's really cool. Like, I like your intent when
Hmm.
you go from company to company. Some people are looking to be coddled and have their hand held. What you are doing, you are being attentive with going from IMO to IMO. And I think that's something that people are missing. It's like, stop
Yeah,
looking for something in other people. Really look at their process and learn from it because you're a business owner. This is not a
exactly.
W-2 position. No one's going to hold your hand, tell you how to clock in or anything like that. Um,
Hmm.
so, like I said, I just want to applaud you on the way you are inserting yourself into different IMOs because that is something my listeners need to hear to, hey, if you're going to
Yeah,
jump to the next company, be a good reason. Don't let it be
yeah,
the money because if there's more money, there might be something missing. There might be a trade-off, meaning you might not get support. You might not
yeah.
get resources. Your upline's not answering the phone. That's going to be that trade-off. And I've seen it time and time again. So can you describe the challenges and obstacles you faced early on and how you overcame them?
Yeah, my challenge was to overcome the thought about what people would think about my
Mhm.
accent. Like I have an accent
Yeah.
because I come from India and I came here 12 years ago. I'm trying to improve my accent, and I'm very conscious about it too. So yeah, over time, right, you speak to hundreds of people, and you see success coming. People are trusting you. People are listening. So they're understanding what you're saying, and you overcome that. So the key here is to talk to more and more people, even when you're selling. You won't become like perfect on in the first attempt, right?
Yeah.
You first stick to your script and then you read the script, and that's a challenge. So for the new agents, my thing is to put yourself out there and talk to as many people as you can. So that's the challenge in my case. So
Yeah.
I think I have overcome it. I still have certain amount of nervousness going on, but
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
But that's part of the process. Like I always tell people, my favorite professor in college, Professor Maine, said a teacher must always be willing to learn. Because if you
Yeah.
ever stop learning, you stop growing. Like I said, I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit, but that's because you're constantly improving yourself. You're trying to be better.
Yeah.
You're trying to make sure we bring the right people in here because we don't want to waste our time. I'd rather spend 2 hours with you on the phone than waste 90 days with you.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what we're getting into. Um,
Yep.
so with that being said, how has your recruitment process changed from when you first started to now? What key adjustments have you made to improve your efficiency and success rates over time?
So, as I said, right? So initially, when I first started recruiting people, I stuck to my script. So I was just reading from it. It felt like I was reading it. But then over time, you talk to 10, 15 people, then you make your own script. And you don't need your script anymore because you know what you're going to say to them or how you're going to excite them for the opportunity.
Mhm.
So that is the process. Like it's a continuous process. You improve it on upon yourself. You improve it yourself. Um, so that's what it is. So right now I don't need a script to recruit. So I'm good at recruiting. I can close at least 80 to 85% of the people I talk for building and do what you think is best for you and continue to do it.
Exactly. It's all about that consistency. Like people will start something They'll
Yeah.
get a good couple of people and then they get some bad people and they just stop. But that's not how this works. That's kind of part of the game. And then you learn not to invite those people back into that experience again, because you're gonna notice it. Sometimes we have to fail to know that's a bad thing. Because I've made errors of judgment when I recruited people. A lot of it came out of greed at the end of the day, and
Mm.
that's just totally honest because I wanted the big team. I wanted all the things. So when I found people wanting to come my way, I ignored red flags, and those
Mhm.
red flags I'm still paying for today.
Mhm.
So again, it's all part of the process, but that's why this podcast is so important because we're trying to bridge that gap and minimize any effects that you have in this business.
I did not find people who um, I didn't have experience the red flags yet
Mm-hmm.
because I have recruited people who are looking for a job opportunity and then saying that, hey, this is a commissions only opportunity. Would you be interested? So most of my people are doing their pre-licensing right now. I think I have like 10 to 12 licensed agents who have passed their pre-licensing.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, I have seen certain red flags with few people, and I have not recruited them, as you said.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what would you say was the red flag that you saw and you're like,
So red flags usually come from licensed agents because
mm-hmm,
they have experience in the field already, and they must be having their own teams. So
mm-hmm,
when I present them with opportunity, they would like to they would say that they are looking for um, something else that they are missing in their IMO. They would say to me that they don't need any training or anything. They don't want to follow the training that we offer, the culture that we bring in. They don't want any of it. They want only the benefits that we offer. So I
yeah,
wouldn't recruit such people because if I'm recruiting people, I want them to be all in with our company and with my
yeah.
agent. So
No, I love that upholding your integrity and stuff like that. Again, couple of years ago, some of us would make the mistake of just bringing them in that desperation to have the numbers, but again, that will end up spoiling the culture. And I love hearing that from you that you guys are saying no. We have standards and we're sticking to them. Like money is not going to be a thing that sways me left or right. Like you said, money is not an issue right now. You're trying to retire
yeah,
and you're just learning and developing this. So I love that because you have those blinders on, you're
yeah,
not distracted by the shiny things because you're like, I know I want to retire in 5 to 6 years. You're going to cause me a chargeback, roll up debt, and all the things, and spoil everything. We've brought
yeah.
together.
I have also recruited one of my friends, and he's a big insurance agent. He has been in the insurance industry for more than 20 years now. So I brought in him because he's my friend. He's licensed, and then he needs some quick money. So I said, we are non-captive company. You can come and contract with one of our companies and start selling final expense. And he's doing that. So he's also working with his other contracts with his IULs and annuities. I'm fine with that as long as I have that connection with him, that rapport with him, like, and then he's willing to talk to me about his sales and stuff like that. Then if that is the case, if he's transparent about what he's doing and I'm comfortable with it, I'm actually good with it.
I so love that you brought that up because that was something I've been talking about with a lot of the meetings I have. I love that everyone is saying it's okay if you're friends with other people. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not your only best friend. Like, we should have relationships. I should be able to have other contracts somewhere and you not be offended by it, as long as I keep our relationship solid, my contract straight, and the business that I write stays on the book and I'm consistent and I communicate with you. I feel like somewhere we got pulled off that train when everybody got into that recruit,
Mm.
mine is mine, and then it became that cult like behavior where you couldn't talk to somebody else from another team. I mean, I saw it where they would have group texts and say everybody block this person because they left our company because they
Yeah.
were afraid of them recruiting and taking them and telling the truth. And it's like, who are you to gatekeep where other people could go? Because what if they're feeling exactly the same way? And I don't
Exactly.
like that. Because to me, if there is somewhere someone else should be, you should go, because you being here is going to ruin all the fun. It's not
Hmm.
going to be fair to you or to me because neither you don't want to be here. All I ask is that make sure your books are zero when you leave here. It's
Yep.
balanced. You can go. I have no problems. I'm not trying to keep you. Just make sure we're good. So
Perfect.
thank you so much for sharing that. I think that is so important for the agents to hear, especially because that's going to be a repeated narrative through every
Hmm.
um, um, video, every meeting that I've sat with. That everyone is saying like we want to bring back that collaboration, that
Yes.
professionalism, that trust, that collaborative, the all the things that talks about working and networking together. I
Hmm.
want to bring that back too. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you so much for sharing that. So with that, so based on your success, obviously, I hear you're recruiting your friends, people, you have really good success rate. What are some key metrics that you use to measure your recruitment efforts? And how have those evolved since before? Like before, hey, you're just recruiting anybody, but now that's different. It's like, yeah, you can recruit 83 people, but
Yeah.
it's better.
So
Quantity,
the key
yeah.
metrics are, I would say, start low, like don't show your excitement right away when you start a call, and
Mm.
then you ask questions, basically warm them up. Like if someone applied for a job position, then I would definitely not start with going to their work right away. Instead, I would say, "Hey, I'm from Wisconsin. I have a family. I have a son. Hey, do you have a family too? Like, what do you do? What are your hobbies?" And kind of warm them up a little bit, and then start low, and then ask questions about their work. Like, what got you looking? Are you currently having a job? Are you looking for an opportunity? Are you looking for a work from home opportunity? What's going on? So and then as the person talks, right, you can actually gauge that person. You can assess him, whether he's really interested or he's like just looking out, for different motives or things like that. So, and then once I know that he is excited and he's curious to know more and he trusts me enough, because most of the people don't trust initially because they think it's a scammer or something like that, because I talk to almost strangers. So once that trust is established, then I would excite that person during the course of the call. Like I would give them like pre-licensing course for free, or I would say this is the compensation level. I'll start them at 80% comp or things like that to excite them person. If they are getting excited, then I will give them more exciting news. Like we'll give them free leads, but we'll take a portion of their commission as split commission and things like that. So those are the key metrics that I focus. Those are implemented in my script. So over time, I built my script myself.
That was
Um,
such a unique
yeah,
perspective. I so expected you to be like go hit on the numbers because I know we're very, very numbers based focus on that, but your success is measured different
yeah,
because you're thinking about this business differently. It's not about the numbers, it's about you getting that script down,
yeah.
tweaking it because you are wasting less time because it's a
Mhm.
flow. You are watching the buildup almost like a movie script. You're saying
Yeah,
this is the beginning, here's the climax, going for the win. I love like I'm
yeah,
seeing it like you're turning my brain like it's almost like unlearning something. Like I feel like you're
yeah.
untying a knot in my head because I feel like in a way my processes are like that, but I've never said them out loud because I don't
Mhm.
even know what that process is. But to hear what you're saying, I know I'm not alone. So I love hearing your process because that's
Yeah.
really how we should be thinking about this business. Let's move away from the numbers and think about the quality that we're giving to people, whether it's
Yeah.
the quality of clients that I'm sitting with. I don't want to sign everybody up. I've done that before and that's cost me
Mm-hmm.
because I already knew they didn't want it. I
Yeah.
that script you're talking about, I have a script. We all have some type of script where we know these
Mm-hmm.
people are not going to budge and we need to get up and leave. And some of us are
Yeah.
going, scrap the script. I'm going to sign the contract. And then again, another lesson learned. And that's what we don't want you guys to keep doing that. Don't do those things. So, beyond recruitment, how do you focus on agent retention and development? What methods are you using to ensure the recruits continue to grow and succeed within the company?
So that's a good point, good question, right? Because agent retention is a tough task. It's not easy as said. So in my case, in my experience, the retention rate is only 10%. And out of that 10%, the active person will be only 1%. The active people who actively sell. So So my focus will be only on those 10 people, right? So I spend most of my time with them, and I tell them that in the interview too. So I'm here to build them up, and train them. So, and I tell them, right, I recruited like 120 plus people. So not everyone is interested in working with me. But if you are showing that commitment and if you are willing to put that time and effort with me, I'm willing to go that extra mile and train you. So if you don't show that commitment to me, why should I help you? So if you're winning, I'm winning. So if I'm winning, the company is winning, right?
Yeah.
So and the company is winning, the whole industry is winning,
Exactly.
right?
And I love how you're pulling the power back. You're taking that power back and going, no, 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 no. I know what
Yeah,
I have to offer. I'm trying to help you make money. And it's almost like they're saying they don't want to make money when
yeah.
they talk out of their neck to you because you're just like, do you want to make money? Because the way you're talking to me, the vibe is not there. And now
Mhm.
I don't want to work with you because that, what's the word I want to say? Just the vibe is not there, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And the energy is
I
too soft.
I just texted one of my agents. I usually keep in touch twice a week with them. If for with everyone, like I send group text messages to everyone. So this agent, she's doing her pre-licensing, but then every time like I invite her to a meeting, she would say, "Hey, I'm busy right now. I don't have time to do this." And I said, "It's okay, that's fine, but this is for your benefit. It's not I'm not gaining anything by sending you these text messages,
Hmm.
but it's for your benefit. So don't look at me like I'm your instructor or a principal, things like that, right? But
Hmm.
I look at me as your business partner. You are my business partner. I'm here to mentor you. I'm here to coach you. So if you're not setting your priorities right, why would I spend time with you? Right.
1000%. And again, you're trying to help them learn and understand this business. So it's weird that
Yeah.
you're not making time to learn this business. So if you don't have time for this business, then this relationship is over. Like, come back to me when you're ready to commit and then tell me
Yeah.
how much you're going to commit. Because, I have agents, I'm like, I don't care if you're sometime, part time, when you have the time, be 100% in whatever you decide to commit to me so that I
Mhm.
know where you're at. So if it's every
Yeah.
Saturday or one Saturday a month, that's what we're going to commit to every single month. But none of this me chasing you. If I feel that, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to back up out of there and
Yeah.
redirect my attention to people that are literally wanting my time
Yeah.
and doing the homework and the work too to do it. That's who's going to get my time.
Yeah. You can't beat up a dead horse. Find a
Mm-hmm.
new one.
1000%. So, what are the biggest challenges you face as a recruiter in today's market? How do you address these challenges while maintaining integrity and professionalism?
So the biggest challenge I face is when I'm going to Indeed or Hiree.com or other job sites like these. Most of the people that are applying for these the positions that I posted are basically looking for like $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $40 an hour. They're
Mm-hmm.
like hourly wage workers because that's all they have done all these years. So the biggest challenge for me is to change their thinking from the employee mindset to entrepreneurial mindset. So
Mm,
if they want to be a sales agent, that is self-employment, right? And then if they want to be a business owner, I mean, if they want to build a team and build an agency, then that's a business ownership. So that's entrepreneurship. So I'm willing to train them to be an entrepreneur, and then they are looking for peanuts like $20 an hour, $30 an hour. So yeah.
it's
So
funny because it's like
and
they want to get paid for nothing.
yeah, right. So,
Yeah,
how long will you build other people's businesses for
yeah,
peanuts, right? Build
yeah.
your own business.
So would you say
And
that's is that like your one liner? Like, what's your one liner that kind of you feel like switches them to kind of change their perspective a little bit when it comes to commission-based sales?
yeah, think like an entrepreneur, think like a business partner. Don't think like, I mean, it's hard. Saying is easy, but implementing that is hard. Even when I'm saying that, I'm still also in the employee mindset, but
Yeah,
there's a process, the transformation that has to go through, and then you need to trust the process. And
yeah,
then and then you need to be in company with those who have already done it. So your thinking process will change over time. It won't happen overnight. So, right. And then the other challenge is the most people are attracted to money, but I would filter out such people. If people are only attracted to money and if they are in this business only for money, then that's a red flag.
Yeah.
If they have to be in this business to help people and serve people, if that is not their primary motivation, then that's a red flag.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you touched on something that I want to swing back to our earlier conversation. You said about getting around people who have already done it. That goes back to the whole recruiting thing where, agents are being told to recruit. It doesn't matter if you haven't done it yet. I've done it. But then those people are not reachable.
Yeah.
So I bring in my friend, I bring in Susie, Tim, and Jim, and I'm just like, here's my upline. They're so amazing. They've done like 50, 60K a month. You listen to them. They don't answer their phone. They don't talk to them. They look at them like, okay, what are they doing? And it's like, now you've embarrassed me because you've got me,
Yeah.
brought these people into them, and I brought them to you. Like, look at all these little soldiers I brought with you that are willing to give their life for the king. And then you just totally dropped the ball there. So it was like, what was the purpose of me doing that?
Mm,
Uh, so yeah, and that again, that goes back to the get around people who are already doing it or do it yourself already. Because again, even for me, I've never wanted to build a team, and I feel like I fell into the peer pressure that because I was in companies that were building and builder companies and recruiting really, really heavily. It's like they're like, you want to build a team? I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I know I'm screaming no because I already like without knowing the details, I could see there was a lot of responsibility I was not interested in. There's a lot of risk that I was not prepared to take in
mm,
terms of hey, if the how much time how my production will suffer because now I'm now turning around to train people because the system that you have in place
mm,
it's flawed and it's not really diving into the product knowledge, diving into the client relationship. It's very very top of the iceberg. It does not break into the industry the way it needs to. So I end up spending more time with my agents because of that. And then if they do write business, and then
mm.
that business is down the books, they're freaking out because they don't know what to do. I don't even know what to do. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. Go make some money to make that, to pay that off. So we are bringing people who have a W-2 mindset into a 1099, and we're never flipping that switch.
Mhm.
And so we end up in this big mess. And again, I'm still paying for those things. So it's really good for you to hear that, especially new people coming into the industry who are being, pressured to recruit or just, hey, you should recruit or told to recruit, to really, really think about the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
Think of everything you're going through, someone else, you're going to have to do the same thing for that person. And think about the relationship you already have with your upline. When you start the hire, they treat it as my baby bird is out the nest, and
Mhm.
you no longer receive that same support anymore. Advice to other recruiters: what advice would you give to newer recruiters or agents consider stepping into recruitment? Are there specific techniques or tools that you have found that are especially helpful?
Yeah, so my advice to the new people that are coming in is don't be afraid of recruiting, because all you need to do is to find um uh p oh
You're fine.
so yeah, what I was saying is like so I'll answer this again.
You're fine.
So I would say to the new agents that don't be afraid of recruiting, because all they need is to find those 10 solid agents throughout their career that can build passive income for them. The 10 solid agents. So to get 10 solid agents, that means you need to talk and recruit 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So, if I'm going by that 1% rule, so
Yeah.
I mean it's an average. That's what I have seen in my experience, but no specific technique as such. So, what the weapon that you have is your script, and
Mhm.
then the knowledge that you built over time, and then your leadership skills, and you need to be able to manage all those 1,000 people, right? Of course, you can hire help If you want, you can outsource that. I mean, my upline has a manager in Philippines, so
Mm.
you can get cheap labor from that if you want to do that. And yeah, so all you need to do is you use your script, sharpen it as you build more. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great answer. So, in your opinion, how can the recruitment process be improved across the industry? How do you see platforms like Agent Score Report contributing to better hiring trust and transparency?
So yeah, so I would say that let industry do what it is doing. So I'm not concerned about what the industry is doing, but I'm
Mhm.
concerned about my approach and my approach to training my agents ultimately to make them independent. So and yes, you find people here and there where they become a liability to you, but thanks to you guys, and you saw the gap in the industry, you jumped on it and you started something amazing. So as a recruiter, as an entrepreneur, I need to find such gaps in the things that I'm doing
Mm,
and build on the opportunity. Like for example, how to leverage AI, which is like growing very rapidly right now.
yeah.
So how do I leverage that? I mean, in terms of building that bots that will automatically talk and even filter out leads. So how do I leverage that? So if I have money, if I have enough resources, then I can build upon it. So initially you need to do what you're doing, like traditionally build up your cash flow, like make some 500K or something, and you can invest in something like a system where that'll work for you. Yeah.
No, I love that. Absolutely. So if you could just share us one success story where a particularly successful recruitment experience and what stand out for it and what did you learn from it?
So I would consider the recruitment experience, all recruitment experiences are successful if I
Mm,
find right people, right? So, and obviously it is not anything that I do, but the people themselves, like so you need to find people who have the desire to succeed in this industry. So, um, those are the right people that I'm talking about. So all I need to do is to find such people who have the drive to succeed. And if I and I have three people like that so far. I've talked to about 400, 500 people so far, and I found three people like that. That is my average. It's 1% almost.
I love your
So,
calm. Somebody would
yeah.
freak out getting to the 30th person, like, this is not working out. You're just like, yeah, I talked to 400 or 500 people. Three of them are solid.
Yeah.
Just quality over quantity all day long. Do y'all hear that, people? Quality over quantity. Always,
Yeah.
always, always less is more. Always. And anything that you do, less
Uh,
will be more. Looking forward here, where do you see the future of recruitment of insurance going? How do you plan to evolve with the recruitment process? Like I know you touched on the AI and stuff like that, but where do you see the future of recruitment in general going?
So, with if it is for the industry, I'm least worried about it, as I said before, because I'm worried about my agency. I care about my
Mhm.
agency, right? So, and if you're asking that question, I would ask you back, like, what is recruiting? Recruiting is just building of your own agency, right? And
Yeah.
that means every new agency that pops up, it'll be a competitor to my agency. So, so I'm not saying that I will look down upon them or anything, but if you don't have competition like that, you will not grow.
No, absolutely. And I would say, since you are throwing the question back at me, I'm happy to answer. Like the way I see it, I see less people coming in. And by
Mm,
that, I mean the unqualified people who were ushered in early on into
mm,
this industry. We will not see those same people come back.
mm.
We're going to have more people like me and you who have the passion for this, or at least we can see a solve. Like, while recruitment is, that is special in and of itself because you have to find good people to come here. So
Yeah.
you're almost like the gatekeeper to this world. But at the same
Yes.
time, even your role is so, so very, very important, even though it's strategic, even though it's not exactly client facing.
Mm,
It's more the agents that you're bringing in. We just
mhm.
can't have anybody in that position.
I say that because I have seen other IMOs doing unfair practices.
Hmm.
And then the one thing that I don't like in this industry is most of these agencies, which are especially the builder models. I worked in like four IMOs before. I'm
Yeah.
jumping agencies, and finally I found the best one. I believe it's the best one. The one thing I don't like about these IMOs is that they believe in the law of attraction, which is I completely oppose that. They believe that if you visualize having $1 million, then you will have $1 million. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like because I'm also a Bible teacher.
Yeah.
And theology is really important to me. And then I live according to the principles of the Bible. So, with law of attraction is not biblical. I mean, so most of the law of attraction comes from the Eastern mysticism. So my family is from there. Then
Okay.
I came to believing in the Bible, right? So I teach against that. And why again do I have to go into that theology and get myself brainwashed? So that's why I came
Yeah.
up with those companies. Initially, when I first went in, I didn't know that they were doing that. But
Mm.
once I have seen their meetings and stuff like that, no, this is a red flag, and I came
So
out.
when you can you go a little bit more into like because I understand an idea of law of attraction, which I know a lot of people do, but can you explain how they're using that to recruit? Like what do you mean by that law of attraction? Like what are they doing and
So
not doing?
good question, right? So they're not using that law of attraction to recruit people. They're using it to retain people.
Mm,
So, so if they say that, at the same, if they, it's like almost cultish, you know?
got it.
Yeah,
There with you. I'm there. So now I'm seeing it. I was like, because what, so basically you're just saying it's just a manipulation tactic that they're not working hard enough, that it's you. You're
yeah.
not believing. No, again, you're giving me words to things that I experienced. That was my frustration, that cult-like behavior, the
Mhm.
drinking of the Kool-Aid. I remember my first company I got into, I'm asking normal questions because I was already very inquisitive, already had an entrepreneur spirit about me. So naturally I'm going to ask questions. So I'm just like, hey, can we get leads somewhere else? They went, shh. They acted like I was cussing in church and I was in an office in Hesperia.
Yeah,
Like in a small town in California, no one's going to hear us. It's just us, like five people in the office.
yeah.
Come to find out, I had no idea that the contract that I signed did not allow for you to buy leads outside the company, thus
Uh,
giving them full monopoly over your like everything, your entire life. We were
mhm.
independent, but we were captive,
Yes.
which was insane to me. And so that did not make sense. And then I started to watch people who would sneakily buy leads and write business. And then they're like, hey, where'd you get them leads from? And then they fired them.
Oh.
So they fired them for buying leads. And that was part of the reason why we left that company to go to the next one. So I followed the person who brought me there to there. So I'm just like, yeah, because I was like, yeah, I knew y'all was drinking the Kool-Aid. You my friend, and I'm already here. So where I'm gonna go, I don't know this industry like that. And that's why
Mhm.
I want Agent Score Report to go global, go everywhere,
Yeah.
because I want people to have options more than the things that are just sat in front of our face.
Mhm.
Agencies like yours that are smaller boutique that are saying, I am looking for just a small number of people to take care of. I know out of 100, only 10 of you guys are actually going to want to work, and I want them to come and find you. Somebody wants to be your number 10. And that's
Mhm.
what I want to do. I want to put you guys on the forefront. So like I said, being a guest on my podcast comes with so much more, because my goal is I want to brag on you guys. We're going to be rolling this out in the next few weeks, where we're going to have a page dedicated to who we feel are agent score certified, where we're going to have your agency or even just your face, just the recruiting thing. That way, if someone wants to be recruited and they want to talk to you specifically, they're going to be able to reach out to you, talk to
Mhm.
you. So with that being said, that brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you again, Andy, for being on. And again, you guys, if you haven't already, please email me at admin@agentscorereport.com. I have a new agent interview questionnaire that you should use anytime you are interviewing any new IMO or agency or manager that you are trying to be a part of. And as always, you can catch us on our podcast, the Great Reset Podcast, where insurance meets accountability, where I bring top recruiters, leaders, marketers, agency owners and agents in the industry that I believe represent trust, integrity, and transparency. Again, my name is Patrice Johnson, and thank you for joining us. Have a good night, guys. All right, cool.